Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Now Decadence. Long time no speak. I know it's been a long time, I'm really sorry, but you all know, I'm not going to repeat myself. You guys know, you know, it's just, you know. Anywho, I've got a little bit of a haul from the lovely people at Born Pretty. They sent me some bits and bobs to see what I thought of, and yeah, so I'm going to have a play with some of these bits and bobs, and I really liked it. The only thing I will say is that the gel in the pot, that one is tack free, so it has no tacky layer. And I would recommend not using a base coat as I did in this video, because I did have a bit of trouble later on with the adherence of the full cover tips that I put on. If you don't put the base coat on, you don't have that issue. So I will say, just because it's tack free, best not to put the base coat on. Just prepare your nail as you normally do with the dehydrator, non-acid primer, and then straight in with the product, as opposed to putting a base coat down first. So that's the only thing that I can think of that wasn't that didn't go straightly according to plan, as it were. But like I said, it was easily rectifiable. All I had to do was I had a couple nails pop off. So all I did was to buff the nail to etch the base coat, and just glue the nail back on with a bit more of the product, and yeah, it was fine after that. I think because it doesn't have a tacky layer, it doesn't mesh with the base coat, because there's no tacky layer. I think with it on top of the tacky layer of the base coat, it kind of makes the base coat tacky layer no longer exist, as it were. So then it's then trying to stick to a shiny surface, if you know what I mean. And we all know gel products do not like to stick to a shiny surface, which is why etching is really important. Especially, you know, when you're putting tips on, you etch them so that the gel has something to grip to. So it's the same principle when it comes to the base coat, because there's that non-tacky part of the product. It's best to not use the base coat at all. I hope I'm making sense, but I really did like the product. I like the colour, even though you don't really see the colour, because obviously I put gel polish over the top, so you didn't really see the colour of it. But it is a really nice cover if you wanted to cover pink, that is. If you just wanted to use that as a cover pink and do a design over the top. This one I'm talking about, the extension nail gel. You see, it says it's non-stick. I just wasn't paying attention to that. I should have paid attention to what it said, but I didn't. So it's my own fault. That's user error. That's not to do with the product. There was no heat spikes with it or anything. Apart from my user error, which was putting the base coat on, it worked great. So I will definitely be using it again. And using the full cover tips is obviously a lot quicker for me than doing a full set of nails. So yeah, win-win in my opinion. So yeah, that's the only thing. I keep it real. I'll tell you what works and what doesn't work, and it's not that the product was bad. This was my user error. That's because I didn't look into it properly. I didn't read where it says very clearly on the front, non-stick. That's my own fault, but hey ho, we live and learn. Anywho, as you can see, I'm now going on to the application of product. So what I did was prepare my nails, remove the cuticle from the nail plate, you know, the dead skin, push the cuticles back, all of that good stuff, and etch the nails by just removing the natural shine. Then I applied a dehydrator and a non-acid primer. That's personal choice. You don't actually have to use that if you don't want to. You don't have to use the primer at all. And then, as you can see, I'm now applying the base coat, which I highly recommend you don't do. Don't apply the base coat because it doesn't work with a non-stick product. And I probably will say that again because some people don't watch the haul part of the video, they go straight to where we are right now. So I will just mention again, this is a non-stick, no tacky layer type of polygel. Therefore, do not use a base coat with it because it will not work with it. Just etch the nail very well, and your choice of whether using a non-acid primer or not is up to you, but I highly recommend don't use the base coat with it because it's basically a shiny layer that this polygel extension nail gel won't adhere to very well. So just bear that in mind. Anywho, now that we got that out of the way, let's get into what I'm actually doing. So I'm going to be using full cover tips, as I mentioned before. What I did was etch them because, as I've said before, but like I said, because, you know, some people skip the whole part, they didn't, you know, they wouldn't have heard what I said before. Gel products do not like to stick to shiny surfaces, so we do need to etch them, remove the shine, which gives the gel something to adhere to. So I etched them, and then I just used some rubbing alcohol to remove the dust from inside of the full cover tips, and then I'm using some of the nail extension gel within the well that I have etched, and then I will apply that to my nail and try and sort out any bits that squish out with the spatula. Now, because it's a non-stick, we don't actually need to use a slip solution or any rubbing alcohol to pat and press it. It's not necessary. I just used, as you can see, I just used a spatula tool. It works just fine because it's non-stick. It's, yeah, there's no need for a slip solution at all. You can see my spatula stays clean, it doesn't adhere to it at all. Yeah, it's a different type of product than what I'm used to. Normally a polygel product has a tacky layer, but this one really doesn't. I still wouldn't recommend using your bare skin to use it. You can use this as you would any other polygel, you know, to make like 3D flowers and stuff. I still would recommend using gloves if you're going to roll a ball of this product in between your fingers, because any product that's not cured it should not be in contact with your skin. It's just not good for your skin, and we don't want allergic reactions to form. So I would still recommend using gloves if you were to manipulate the product using your hands. But yeah, you can use a spatula, it's fine. It's non-stick, so it's pretty cool. It's different. It's not something that I'm used to. I think I went into it not really paying attention to the non-stick part and trying to apply general polygel rules to it, but it doesn't work that way. It's a different type of product, so it needs to be used slightly differently. And yeah, it's a learning curve, but I make mistakes so you don't have to. That's the fun part of my videos is, yeah, I try things out. And when I get things wrong, I let you know, because that's the whole point of my videos, is to help you guys, help educate you guys, help you guys not make mistakes that you know can be made. And if I make mistakes, I'm happy to show you, because I'd rather you knew where I went wrong so that you don't go that same way. So, you know, it's all good. I will always share my knowledge. I'm happy to do that. So yeah, I will just continue doing the same thing on all of the nails, just flash coin to just hold them in place. I have hooked nails, so you will see that there's quite a lot of product underneath the my natural free edge underneath the full cover tips. That's because I've got hooked nails, so if I was to try and fit that full cover tip right close to and flat onto my natural free edge, it would actually stick up at the cuticle area because my nails are that curved. So that's why you see I put an extra bit of product right at where my natural free edge would start in the full cover tip, as I'm doing now. You see, I've just taken that little bit of extra product. That was a little bit too much, and I put that right there, and that's to compensate for my curved nails. That's the only way I can get full cover tips to work for me, as my nails are hooked. I've got hooked nails, there's no getting around that. So these are my little tips and tricks that I use to allow me to use full cover tips. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to use them because there'd be this huge gap underneath, which would, you know, allow water to get underneath, and you know that causes all kinds of issues. So yeah, this is how I get around that. So just bear that in mind. If you don't have hooked nails, you won't need that extra bit of product that you see me put in at the after I've spread out the product. That last little bit extra product that I put in, you won't need that unless you have hooked nails like I do. Once I've finished putting all the full cover tips on, I will then give the whole hand a full cure so that all the nails get a full cure of 60 seconds. I didn't need to turn my fingers over to cure the underneath because this product is not completely opaque, so there was no issue with the light penetrating. So yeah, I didn't have to turn my hand over to cure underneath at any point. It was fine. And as there's no tacky layer, there's no tacky layer to remove either. I didn't bother including the filing in this because it's not exactly a whole lot of filing to be done, which is great. All I did was file the cuticle area nice and flush, give the sidewalls a little bit of a tidy up, and then buff over the surface of the full cover tips because, as I mentioned before, gel does not like to stick to shiny surfaces, so it's important for you to remove the surface shine so that your gel polish will stick to those full cover tips. I'm going to be using these maple leaf glitter shapes, and because they are quite large in the sense of in comparison to the nail, what I want to do is just give them a little bit of a curve so that they are able to sit flatter on my nail, because I'm not encapsulating them as such. I do want to make sure that they sit on the nail as flush as possible, because I'm not fully encapsulating them. If you don't give them the curve so that they form and fit onto the surface, the curved surface of the nail, then it's likely that the tips will stick up out of your top coat and then end up, you know, getting caught and peeling off, which we definitely do not want. So that's why I've just used my dotting tool end of my gem picker, and yeah, just give them a little bit of a curl, which makes them sit flush to the nail, because you want it to keep it as flat as possible. So on to the gel polish design, and as you can see, I'm using this gorgeous burgundy colour. It's such a pretty wine burgundy deep red. Oh, it's lush. It's actually lush. Yeah, I'm going to just do, as you can see on my other thumb, I'm just doing sort of a swoosh, half and a half design with the two gel polishes. So I got this Born Pretty brush in one of my other hauls. It's a really nice detailer brush, but it's good for like really fine lines, but as you can see, it's good for this type of design as well. It works great. You can get thick lines out of it as well as thin lines, so yeah, it worked well for this. So I'm just going to even out the surface of the gel polish because I don't want it to be like super thick in any place, because what you don't want is a really thick layer of gel polish that gives the gel polish a chance of not curing all the way through, and you do want to make sure your gel polish cures. So 2 thin layers is best as opposed to 1 thick layer. So that's why I kind of try to remove some of the product with the brush. And as you can see, I've moved on to the index finger, and I'm going to use this mustardy orangey. Yeah, it's slightly, ever so slightly, a tad bit more yellow in real life, but not by much. It's a really, what's the word? It's a great autumn colour. That's what I mean, autumn. Couldn't think of autumn. Good lord. Anyway, it's a perfect colour for autumn. It just, and together with the red, I really enjoyed this now colour combination. It just so happens that that's the colours they sent me, but I think I would have probably wanted to pair it up with a red. I just think it looks lovely with a red. I also think that would look lovely with like a navy blue or a black. Oh, the mustard could be paired up with a myriad of different colours. But yeah, those are just some suggestions I think would go nicely with it. I just touched the thumbnail onto my paper towel. Because I took the risk of not flash curing it. I was being brave by not flash curing the design and just going straight onto the other nails. That's, you know, I decided to take a risk, and yeah, I messed it up, but not too much. So that was why I went back to the thumb, just to sort out that bit where I touched my paper towel on my desk. Silly. I should pay more attention, but I should have flash cured it, really, knowing that I'm always very accidental when it comes to these things. But no, I was trying to be a bit more efficient and not do the flash cure, but yeah, doesn't always work out for me that way. Anyway, so as you can see, I'm applying that deep burgundy red. Again, we're talking about thin layers. If you get any on the skin because you've got shaky hands like me, then just use a little flat brush to just use some rubbing alcohol or some acetone. Dip that in, dab it off on your paper towel, then sweep that around your cuticle area and wherever else, up the sidewalls or wherever the gel polish has touched your skin. Get it off as soon as possible. Always get it off, definitely before curing. And then once you've finished all the nails and you've got your top coat on and stuff, wash your hands with soap and water, and then you can go in with your cuticle oil. What we want to avoid is products on the skin. I've said it a million times, but I will always repeat it. Nail products are made for nails, not your skin. So we want to avoid contact with the skin as much as possible, because it can lead to contact dermatitis, which is very uncomfortable, can be painful, and certainly doesn't look very nice when your fingers are red and raw and swollen. It's not a good look, and it doesn't feel great. So that's why I make such a big deal of not getting on the skin, and if I do, to get it off as soon as possible, and then to wash the hands as soon as it's possible within the process. It's obviously you can't really wash your hands until you've got your top coat on, but you can certainly do it before you put your cuticle oil on. And so yeah, the most advantageous and speedy time to do it would be then. So yeah, that's that. Anywho, as I'm finishing, let me mention, as I'm applying the second layer of gel polish, you'll see that this is when I cap the free edge. I don't cap my free edge on the first coat as well as the second coat, because that can make you lose your shape, because obviously gel is a thick product. If you are capping both layers, I find that you can lose the shape of the nails very, very quickly that way, and I'm not trying to bulk out the free edge and lose my shape. So that's why I only cap the free edge on the second coat, and I will do it on the top coat as well, because obviously I want to totally encase that gel polish so that it doesn't chip, but I won't do it on the first coat because I want to avoid the bulk. So keep your layers as thin as you can whilst getting the opaque coverage, which isn't a problem with these. They're not too thick, they're not thin and running into your cuticles either. So yeah, I really like the performance of these. I wouldn't recommend something that I'm not prepared to use on my own fingers or purchase myself. Born Pretty has been around for a while. It's really good for those home users who don't have a professional license or a professional qualifications to buy professional products. Born Pretty is a good alternative, which is why I'm happy to feature them on my channel. The products are good, and I would not recommend something that I'm not happy to wear myself. So this is why I don't only use tips when I display their products. I'll also show you me using them on myself, so that you can see that, you know, I'm happy to physically have these products on my nails, on my fingers, and that I trust the products. And yeah, I'm not going to recommend something that I wouldn't personally use to you guys. Hell no. No. Oh, and I should mention, I did not pay for these products. They were sent to me in PR, and what that means is that a company will send you products and ask you to use them and review them in exchange for them to send you those products for free. And Born Pretty know that I will always be honest with my opinions. They know that I'm not going to say something's good if it's not, and they accept that that's what I will do. And I really appreciate that, because not all companies want you to tell the truth about their products, and I don't like that. I don't appreciate being censored, and I'm not going to work with a brand that will try and censor me. And yeah, so thank you, Born Pretty, for being so accommodating and not trying to give me a script to say, you know. I'm everything I say is my own opinion 100%, and I really appreciate that. So if you're interested in Born Pretty products or any of the products that I've used, there are links in my description box. I do have a discount code, which is an affiliate code. You are most welcome to use it, but of course by no means do you have to. With affiliate codes, the way they link, the way they work is, if you use the link provided by an affiliate, you will get a small commission on any products that are purchased. And when I say small commission, I mean very, very small. I actually haven't received any payments from Born Pretty up to this date, because the amounts are that small. So yeah, at this point, where are we? What month are we in? October. We're in October 2022. Until this point, I haven't received not one payment from Born Pretty. So please be assured, I don't promote their products for the sake of money. That's not how I work. Anywho, as you can see, I've cured all of the nails for 60 seconds. They've had a full cure. I'm going to use this potted rhinestone glue to apply my maple leaves. Now I'm just using a detailer brush to just apply a small amount of this product. It's very thick and stringy, so I thought it would hold down the maple leaves really well, and I wasn't wrong. It totally does. It does exactly what I thought it would do. So I'm going to assume that it will hold down crystals really well, but that's I'm yet to test that theory, but obviously I will let you know in further videos when I do get round to using them to adhere crystals. how well they last or not. But at this point, all I can vouch for is that it did really well holding these maple leaves down for me. Yeah, it gets a thumbs up from me for that. It held them down because, like I said, these are quite large and quite thick, so they can stick up out of the top coat and then peel off, and they didn't do that, which I'm very, very happy with. So as you saw, I just flash cured those in place, and now what I'm actually doing is applying a base coat. This is not top coat at this point. I'm applying a layer of base coat to really seal the it's copper leaf, it's not really gold leaf, is it? Copper leaf in, and also the maple leaves in. You could double top coat if that's how you like to do things. I prefer not to, because most of the top coats that I own are tack free, and I like to ensure that the last layer of top coat is going to adhere correctly. That's why I prefer to use a base coat before I go into the top coat. That's, you know, personal preference. It's up to you how you do it, but that's just how I do it. So now it's time to top it off and keep it tough. Oh yes. So it's not really an exciting top coat because you've pretty much seen what the design is. There's no big reveal. Sorry about that, but you know, it is what it is. But we also know that when I'm top coating, it also means we are towards the end of the video. There's not a great deal more left for you to see, but I would really appreciate it if you would stick with it and finish the rest of the video. So thank you ever so much. I wasn't talking to you. Go away. Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of the phone activating when you don't activate it. Just shut up, woman. I'm not talking to you. Oh, good gracious. Anyway, what was I saying? I've totally lost the plot now. Well, we're at the end of the video, so I'd like to say thank you ever so much for coming to my channel, watching this video, and spending some of your most precious time with me. I appreciate you. Thank you ever so much. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and join the Frosty Fam. You know, subscribe. It takes but a second to do. It's free. I'd love to have you. I'm going to try and post some more videos with less of a gap in between them. Yeah, click subscribe if you like what you see, and watch some of my other videos. I do have quite a few, so you know, there's a bit to keep you occupied. If you've enjoyed this video, it's helped you in any way, shape or form, do please click that like button. It really does help my channel out, and it does mean a lot. So it takes you a second. Please do it. I'd really, really appreciate it. And if you feel like it, you are more than welcome to leave me a comment. I'm happy to talk to you. So there are some photos and video footage at the end as usual of the finished design, but that is all I have for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I will speak to you all again very, very soon. Promise, it will be soon. Okay, take care. Bye for now.
Nothing else matters when you say my name. I just want you. Running out of second chances. Whoa, you keep taking me for granted. Whoa, 'cause I don't wanna do this any longer, but somehow it's too hard to walk away now. Running out of second chances. Whoa, you keep taking me for granted. Whoa, 'cause I don't wanna do this any longer. Someday soon I'm gonna make